Right, so getting back to the Let's Go Fishing Suite, again, if you have your annual catalog with you tonight, we're on page 78 and 79, okay? And this suite has it all, okay? It has some amazing dies. It has an amazing embossing folder and an amazing package of designer paper, all right? So let me grab my stamp set, which is right here. And the first thing you're going to notice is there are 5 greetings. So it's great for retirement. It's great for Father's Day. Congratulations. I'm so glad you're my dad, and good things come to those who wait, all right? Now you're gonna also notice all of these fishing images. They're different fishing hooks and lures, and I don't know the names of all these things, so maybe you all can help me, okay? But let me show you what the dies can do. This is the Gone Fishing die set, and I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit more now. Okay, here we go. All right, so believe it or not, there is a die that cuts out this rectangle, okay? Hi, Barb, welcome. Now, there's also a die that cuts out this piece. Now, this is what I was drawn to when I saw this in the book. I think the possibilities are endless for this. If you're making a tackle box or a card, this you would layer on top, okay? And I'm gonna show you a card with everything layered on top, okay? So right now you've got this die right here, and then you have this die. And by the way, these 5 negative pieces pop out, and you can stamp on those pieces as well. And I'll show you a sample of that in a minute, okay? So right here at the very bottom, there is this die, and I'm gonna zoom in even more. And it's the water, and also whoops, I'm too close. Also, you're going to see how it's embossed when it cuts out with the die, all right? And the die is this long, okay? And it makes the water, and then you can see the embossed image as well. Now, here is another die, and you can see this is like the ripple of water. But you might also notice that there is a cut right there, and that cut is in the die. And so that's where you can put a fishing hook through there if you want. This can actually fit right there, and you could have a fish jumping in the water or even coming out of the water, all right? So it's really, really fun. Okay, this is a fishing hook or a lure, that's what I'll call it. Here's one, and this is 2-step stamping. I'll show you that this evening. I use silver foil here. I'm not sure what these things are called. I think these items are used for fly fishing. Here is a fish, and you can actually stamp on top the color you want it to be. Then we have another fishing lure, and here is, I'm gonna call it a feather. I don't know what else to call it. It is so cute. By the way, this die right here cuts out 3 of these buoys at one time. All right, so 1 die, 3 buoys. All right, let's see if I can show you that. Here's the die right here. It cuts out 3 separate buoys. All right. Oh, and by the way, one other item, and I didn't cut this one, I totally forgot. This is another one of those little slits like this. So you can have a small one, or you can have a bigger bigger hole where your fish could actually, you know, the head could be popping up out of the water, or he could be jumping in the water. Thank you, Gail. Weights and sinkers. Oh my gosh, I knew I was going to embarrass myself tonight because I haven't studied up on my fishing terms. Sorry about that. All right, so here is another one of the dies. I'm not even going to say what it is, okay? Here is an extra piece, and you can put this on top of this piece, and then you've got, I'm going to call that a stick right there. All right, this is a hook, and then right here, I'm not even going to call this, I want to say it's like a little buoy thing, but a bobber, maybe that's what it is. All right, so these are your pieces right here. How many of you are seeing this set for the first time? Oh, good, Barb. I got that one right. Thank you, Annie. I appreciate all the help I can get. Believe me, I'm embarrassing myself right now. But again, I have no fishermen in my life. So anyway, but I was just so drawn to this stamp set and dies because just the images are just darling. All right. So that's our Gone Fishing dies. I have not attached this yet. I will, but I wanted you to see that these are two separate pieces. Now, I want to grab one of my cards. It's on the counter, so let me grab it real quick. Now, this card, I actually copied the catalog. All right, so we'll look at this one together. All right. There we go. And so this one is on page 78 in the annual catalog. And so I changed a few things about it, but for the most part, it's very similar to the one in the catalog. And here I added twine, and you know, you'll see all the different things that have been added here. This is a fun card to make, by the way. Again, I copied it from the catalog. This was my inspiration to get started on this bundle. And this fish right here, it has a die, and I cut this out using the designer paper. So the designer paper does coordinate with the die, okay? So that's really helpful for you to know. All right, and you'll probably see in the background, do you see those little lines in the background? That is from this stamped image right here. I will also show you, here is this image, and you stamp that right on top of it. This fish here, this is this piece goes with this, so there's a lot of two-step stamping involved. This piece stamps on top of this one, and this piece here, this stamps right on top of that. All right, and these can stamp on top of each other as well. All right, so lots of two-step stamping images. Actually, as I look at this, they're all two-step stamping. This is two-step stamping. This is the fish, and then this piece. So it's all two-step stamping there. So yeah, wanted you to, this was so fun to make. And when I'm gonna give you some suggestions on stamping this set, okay? When I started to create this set, I couldn't decide, do I want Calypso Coral? Do I want Wild Wheat here? Do I want Boho Blue? Or do I want Misty Moonlight? What color do I want in all of these colors? And so what I decided to do was stamp images first. So this is one of my biggest tips for you. You're probably going to hear this next Tuesday on Tip Tuesday. what I've done here is I have stamped, and the second part of this stamping, I've used Mossy Meadow, Boho Blue, Misty Moonlight, and Calypso Coral. And I found this to be extremely helpful. So I would suggest stamping 10 of each shape, and then it'll be so much easier for you to put your card together. You can figure out which color you want, then you can cut it out, and you already have an assortment stamped. Does that make sense? Again, I did the same with this. And let's see if I have some more of these. Oh, by the way, here are more that I stamped. So you can see how many I stamped. So when I go to make my cards, I can just cut these out and they will coordinate with the project. Here are some more I made, and some turned out and some didn't. If I didn't like it, I just crossed through it and I won't cut it out. And this is Boho Blue, and this is Calypso Coral. I highly recommend you do this. It will make your card making go faster, okay? Here, we've got some more. Oh, look, here's some more fish. I did some in wild wheat as well. So as I make cards, I cut it out as I need it. I've got these in Misty Moonlight, Calypso Coral, and Mossy Meadow. And then the fish, I have these in Boho Blue. And you can already tell that I've cut out some more fish. Now, I've used very vanilla cardstock. And I did that because the designer paper has very vanilla in it instead of basic white. Okay, so that's why I'm stamping on the very vanilla. All right, so I highly recommend this. It has saved me so much time when I go to put my cards together. Thank you, Lori. These are bobbers. Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much. I didn't want to call it by the wrong name. All right, so that's the first thing you should do when you get your stamp set. Go on and get some stamping out of the way. And then as you make cards, you can cut them and put them on the card. All right, that helped me a lot. So here, I'll bring it back in. And you can just see that this is wild wheat, by the way. Boho Blue, wild wheat, Misty Moonlight, Calypso Coral. This is Boho Blue up there. I did use silver foil as well. And this fish is cut from the designer paper. So I will take a picture of this for you to see it, okay? Don't worry, I will have a photograph for you. All right. Oh, yes, that's the best part, Lori. It's back in stock. I don't know if you all have been watching, but the Gone Fishing dies have been on back order. I checked tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern. They are back in stock. So you shouldn't have any trouble ordering this bundle tomorrow when you order your online exclusives, okay? Oh, I forgot to tell you that, Leslie Claire. I stamped in Pebbled Path, all of them, because Pebbled Path is part of the coordinating designer paper. So that's what I did all the outline stamping in, Pebbled Path. Great question. I know, I'm happy it's back in stock. Okay, so let's look at the paper really quickly, okay? Before we do paper though, I will show you the embossing folder. This is a 3D folder and it's called Twisted Rope. And tonight we're going to be making this card right here. And you can see that I've used Twisted Rope in the background. All right, so we'll get to use that tonight and I'll show you the proper sandwich for it, okay? All right, so paper. And I will probably zoom out for this since our paper is 12 by 12. I'm gonna take a sip of water. I am parched. All right, so here's some fish here. I think I can zoom in a little bit for you. Let me grab water. Me too, Leslie Claire. I hope some are left. I'm hoping you picked up this designer paper last month when it was on sale. All right, this is the other side of the fish, okay? That is the other side. Then we have our fishing rods, or maybe I should turn it like this. These are the fishing rods. Then we have a net. See, I got that right. Got the net right. Then we have water. All right. Hi, Mary Kay. Yeah, I'm so glad y'all grabbed the paper on sale last month. This is another piece. It's like a nautical map. Here are fishing lures. That's what I'm calling it right there. And if you're just joining, this is the Gone Fishing Designer paper. Here's the other side. Then we have this piece. This is Mossy Meadow, by the way. And this is Pebbled Path right here. This is the sheet where you can cut out the fish with the die. So it's this fish right here that you can cut out. And here's another fish that you can cut out with the die. So I think there are 2 different colored fish that you can use the die to cut out, okay? I agree with you, Diane. Fishermen have their own language, just like us crafters, right? And then here's the opposite side of that, which is a check, okay? So that's the paper. It's called Gone Fishing, and it was on sale last month, so I'm hoping you all grabbed some of it. We're going to be using some of it tonight as we get ready to craft. So this right here is going to be our first card this evening. All right, and I'm hoping I have that stamp over here. I might have to grab it. We will see. All right. Okay, so colors that I've used in this card, we've got a Misty Moonlight card base. And then we have, I'll put that right there, the Misty Moonlight card base. And then we have Boho Blue, and that's what we're going to emboss with, this color right here. We have some Very Vanilla paper we're going to use for stamping. This is a Wild Wheat scalloped rectangle. I'll show you where that die is in a bit. Yeah, I love the paper. The paper's really fun. Here is some of the paper that we're going to use. That'll just get taped right there. And then I have actually cut out 2 of these die shapes, and I'll show you where these are from. Let's see. They are from this set right here, and I need to look up the name. I have not put the name on the magnet card yet, and so I can't remember the name of it. It's called Nested Essentials, and they're on page 165 in the annual catalog, and they are item number 161597, Nested Essentials, and it's $34, okay? And so you're going to see me use these a bit as, you know, tonight and next week and, well, probably all month because I'm really starting to enjoy those. So that's where this shape came from right here, okay? So we're going to get started. Looks like we're going to have to do some stamping first before we do any cutting. And I'm going to get out the right stamps that I need. All right. Let's see. So I'll set this aside. I'll give you measurements in a bit. And it looks like we're going to use some boho ink and some Pebbled Path. So let me grab Pebbled Path. Okay, I'll move that there. And who wants to tell me what this is called? Is this a fishing lure? All right, this is where I would stamp an entire sheet of these, okay? And your second stamp gives you the color, and you would make those different colors. Yay, Sharon. I'm so happy you're making cards with this set. All right, now we're going to take this piece right here, and this is what we call two-step stamping, okay? I'm going to ink that in boho blue, and I'm going to stamp right there. So when I do this with a second stamp, it's called two-step stamping. So if you're brand new to stamping tonight, you have just learned how to two-step stamp, all right? Now, again, I could do another whole row of these, and as a matter of fact, well, that was blue. Don't want blue. Let's go back to Pebbled Path. The outline of the image is Pebbled Path. I'm just going to go ahead because I'll be making more of these cards for next week. And then I will have them all stamped and all ready to go. Yay, I got it right, Lori. Thank you so much for your help. Now back to boho blue, although this is where I could change my colors. Let's do some Misty Moonlight, all right? So we'll make a couple of different colors just so I have them for later. So this is going to be a little bit of a darker blue. And hopefully you can see that. I'm not standing directly over this image, and so it's a little hard for me to figure out if I have it in the right place. But I'm doing fairly decent right now, so. And by the way, if you're in my Hostess Club, we're going to be using this bundle this weekend, all right, for stamping. So I've got 5 Misty Moonlights, and I've got 4 of the boho blue, all right? And I'm gonna need to cut 2 of these. And we're gonna also emboss with this. We are getting ready to get our Stampin' Cut emboss machine out, okay? So I'm gonna clear everything off. I'm gonna zoom out. And then I'm gonna bring in our machine. We're going to start with embossing tonight, so that's platform number 1. Then I'm going to add my paper, and I'm just going to line it up right with that line there. I'm going to use platform 4 and then roll this through, all right? All right, and then when this comes out, you're gonna see how detailed this is. Isn't this detailed? An incredible amount of detail there. All right, so now we're back to platform 1. Here is 2. We're gonna cut with the die now, and I have a platform 3. I'm going to grab the die. Let's see. I'm going to go with the Misty Moonlight tonight. The original card has boho blue on it, but I think this might look really cute. All right. Now I'm going to try and line this up here. I have to have a really steady hand to get that in the right place. I know, isn't this a great lure? I'm gonna try and say, ooh, that might even be helpful. All right, I think that's gonna work. And we'll get one done here. And that is our first one. Let's go back to this side. We're going to do the second one now. And this tape actually helps me position this in the right place. Sorry for the shaking. All right, now that is done, just like that, and then I will save this for future cards. Let me put the die away. All right. Okay, let's bring our card back in and we'll zoom in as well. So this tape is called Post-it tape, and this is what you want to look for. It looks like it's 1/6 of an inch by 700 inches maybe. So that's what you're looking for, okay? And it's Post-it tape, so it doesn't tear your paper. All right, so let's head on back to our new card. This is a standard card base in Misty Moonlight. So it's 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and then you score at 4.25 inches. We're going to add our embossed boho blue. And we're going to center it right here. Oh, Carol, I'm with you, Carol. I'm with you. Ruth, go to Amazon, all right? Go to Amazon. All right, I'm with you, Carol. I'm learning. Okay, designer paper is gonna go on this. Now, I'm sure all of you know where this is because I use the dies constantly. These are the Scalloped Contours dies. And I am using this one right here, all right? So it's the second one from the largest, all right? Second from the largest. And our designer paper is measuring 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. right. And we're just gonna add this. I feel like I need more space. All right. And we're just gonna add some seal to this. And we're just gonna pop that right in the middle. Okay, now this piece we're actually gonna pop up. I know you're surprised. I know, Jeanne, I love the scallop contours. They are a staple, aren't they? They are definitely a staple. And I love to pop this up. And we're gonna just plop it right in the center. Okay. So now I'm going to get out that die cut piece, okay, the Nested Essentials dies on page 165 of the annual catalog. I'm going to stamp with Misty Moonlight, and the words are from Charmed Sentiments. So let me just kind of tell you where they are in the book. So Charmed Sentiments. Charming Sentiments, page 18. Let me show you where these words are from. So right here, and I'll zoom out for this, we are going to use Wishing You the Happiest of Birthdays, all right? But it's called Charming Sentiments, and it does have dies that coordinate with it, okay? Nancy, I know you're surprised I got those dies out. I got the dimensionals out, right? All right, so hopefully we'll get this right in the center. I should probably be using my Stampin' mat, but I'm not. I think we've got it. And I'm gonna pop this up too. Yep. Popping both up. I've got a half a dimensional there, so I'm going to put it right in the center. So, and this is going to go about right. Let's put it on correctly. How about that? Should we put it on straight and not upside down? So we're going to put it about there. And then we have our lures to add. Okay. I'm going to do the Misty Moonlight ones, okay? I did boho blue on that one, okay? So I am going to add a glue dot to the back of one of these. All right, so I've got a glue dot right behind that. And then I'm going to add these two together, okay? I'm going to add another glue dot. I'm sorry, my throat is really dry tonight. Put one there. Put one there. We're going to pop them up. All right, and then we're gonna put it about right here. Now I have some brushed metallic dots that I'm gonna use. I found these to be super fun to play with. Now what did I do with my scissors? Do I not have, there's my scissors. All right. And I don't want one too big. As you can see, I have several. I'm going to use a small one, and I'm going to put it about right there. Okay. Now, you may notice that the original card does have more metallic dots right here, but to be perfectly honest, I don't think they show up very well, so I don't think it's necessary. So that is our first card. And we are going to be giving that away this evening. So that'll be really fun. I'm just gonna tidy up a little bit, let you look at that, see if you wanna get a screenshot. We'll add some Wink of Stella to our lure. It'll be the prettiest one in the river, right? Gotta have the embezzlements, absolutely. All right, so you may not be able to see that. It doesn't usually, Wink of Stella doesn't show up too well for me when it's on camera. So yes, super simple card. It's a great place to start. It might give you some inspiration to move on to, you know, creating other cards. So just wanted you to be aware of that. All right. Oh, I'm so glad you like it. Thank you. I know, right? Rhonda, I need all the help I can get for catching for catching those fish. Absolutely. I know I don't really have anyone to use it with either, Melissa, but I absolutely love it. So thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. All right, so I'm trying to decide what we're gonna do next. I have another card in mind, so I think that's where we will start. But something I do want to point out to you, and we'll go into this next week. Hi, Peggy. Okay, so with this die, when you cut this one out, you get 5 negative pieces, okay? So that's gonna be 5 very vanilla die cuts. And those die cuts will work with all 5 or all 4 of these words, okay? Even the 5th one, all right? So we will get into that next week. I had made the cards that I want to do with this, but I want to make a box to go with it, so I'm not quite ready. All right, so let me put this card over here so that we can give it away. And now we're going to look at our next card that we're going to do. And this is another really simple card. Again, I am using that Twisted Rope 3D folder. I love it. And I'm showcasing some more designer paper. Okay. All right. So let me get my supplies out for this. All right, and it looks like we are going to be embossing again. All right, I'm so glad you like this card. Thank you. This is a great layout for any card with designer paper. This is a great layout for you. Okay. All right. So we are going to go back. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of stamping here. Okay. And we're gonna need that. I'm just grabbing the pieces that we're going to be using. I have a whole tray of stamps. Okay, so for this one right here, I am stamping in Pebbled Path. I'm going to turn this upside down. The only reason I'm doing that is so I can hopefully get 3 of these on here. All right, so I'm stamping 3 now. And let's do Calypso Coral. Because we have a lot of blue on this card. And this time, again, two-step stamping. There's one in Calypso Coral. Another one. Again, by doing this, I'm saving time, so the next card I make, I've got 2 extra, okay? And that's the whole reason for doing it. They do kind of look like Christmas balls, Barb. I never even thought of that, but they really do. All right, and one other thing for us to stamp are the words. And I am going to be using another one of those Nested Essentials dies. Do you see the stitching around it? I am actually using this one right here. Now let me go grab a die. I'm actually going to be using this for another card. So I want to give you the right size die that was used on this card, okay? Okay, so for this shape right here, I used the second one from the largest, all right? Second from the largest. All right, who has these? Have you all noticed these in the book? So, yeah, Diane, I love the pebbled path with it. I think it's really fun, really good with it. All right, let's get out some boho blue. Hi, Marcia. Thanks for joining us from Wisconsin. All right. And I'm going to stamp, you know what? This was stamped in Misty Moonlight, I think. So let's stamp in Misty Moonlight. It'll make it a little bit darker for us. So, oh, you are never too late. You can always hit replay later. Leslie's getting this on her order tomorrow. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna stamp it right in the center. And let's hope it's straight. I'm so glad y'all like this card. That makes me feel really good. Thank you. All right. Let's see. This one's going to be easy for us to put together. We're going to emboss now. So my folder is all ready to go. We're going to be cutting that out. So let me get the die for that. And we're going to use some of this Post-it tape. And I may go ahead and try to line this up right now before we get over to the machine. What do you think? All right. There we go. And I'll go ahead and zoom back out. Oh, Nancy, I'm so glad you like them. All right. This is going to be an easy cut for us. We just have this one going through here. We'll grab that in a second. Now this is going to be a little trickier for us, okay? Because what I'm going to do is the front of this card gets embossed. And so I'm going to put it over here to that score line as best I can, as tight as I can. And then I'm going to run it through. We're using platforms 1 and 4. And I just want to make sure that I've got everything all straight here. I think I was too close to the edge over there. All right. Here we go. We're going through now. All right. Sorry about the shaking. Okay, let's see what we've got. All right, so as you can see here, I've got this little bit of an edge right here. All right, so I think my paper slipped a little bit, but I am actually going to be covering that up with designer paper. This is boho blue, Donna. Boho blue. All right, so I'm going to be covering up this edge, so I'm not concerned about it at all. Now, if this bothers you and you're not covering up the designer paper, then what you may want to do when you make your card is create your card base, your boho blue card base. Take a second layer of boho blue, measuring 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Emboss that, and then you can lay that on top, okay? All right. Okay, so this is our designer paper. Let's measure. It's measuring 2 inches. I made that a really easy measurement by 5 1/2 inches. 2 by 5 1/2. And then we're going to use Stampin' Seal to add this to our card. And it will just cover up that little seam that I had, just like that. Okay. All right. All right, let's see. Hi, Arlene. Hello, hello. The colors are really awesome. Okay. We've got 2 more pieces we're going to use here, Misty Moonlight and Air Designer paper. So Misty Moonlight is going to measure at about 1 5/8 of an inch by 4 7/8 of an inch. And then designer paper is measuring 1 1/2 inches by 4 3/4 inches. Okay. That's really funny, Lori. I'm glad you're getting a big kick out of me. I really am. All right, a little more Stampin' Seal. And then we're going to center the designer paper onto the Misty Moonlight. A little more Stampin' Seal here. And then you can add this pretty much wherever you want. I think I'm going to put mine here. And then I'm going to take my greeting and I'm going to pop that up. I know you all are shocked. Shocked that I'm popping this up. All right, we're almost there, and then we're going to give away both of these cards. Now we're going to add this little layer. You can use this layout with any card, any of your designer paper, okay? All right, now I'm back to the cut piece that I had cut. Again, I'm going to save those other 2 for another day. I'm going to put my die away so I don't lose it. And we're going to pop this up too. I know you're shocked. Let's see. We're going to want to put that towards the bottom, that dimensional, and then we're going to add that right there. Okay? Now it looks like we could use some of their metallic dots. These are called the brushed metallic dots. I can probably give you the item number. The item number is 156506. I would imagine they retail for about $7 to $8 is what I'm thinking. All right, so what we're gonna do is we'll put one here, all right? Yep, very simple card. Very simple, easy to do. We'll put one here. Is that where we want it? And then we're gonna put another one about there. All right, and that will take care of the embezzlements. Brushed metallic dots. They are in your annual catalog, okay? So they're done. I'm gonna add a little Wink Stella so it'll just shimmer in the water. All right, and just a really fun and easy card. And honestly, both of them are super easy to make. And here is the first one. And by the way, this was the first card that I had made with the suite. All right, just to give you all an idea. That's kind of where I started. All right, I'm gonna get us set up. Oh, Donna, you are so funny.